What's up, Lakers fans?
What up, Laker fam?
Laker fans!
Let's go, Lakers!
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
We ballin'. But it's purple, heart is gold, baby. We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world that can stop us.
LA, I got us. Who with me? Let's roll.
Oh yeah, you already know.
You know what they yell when they see me?
Purple and gold, purple and
This
gold.
is Diane's on my way to the
Slam dunk.
Gonna hate her like who?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Champions of the spot. Watch how they watch us. Meet me at the top.
LA, baby.
Nah, we ain't gon' stop. LA be like, Laker fans like, LA be like,
We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world that can stop us. We ballin'. It's all purple and gold, baby. It's all purple and gold.
It's showtime, baby.
Let's go.
Lakers Nation, 1 second. How y'all doing, man? It's time to crank this thing back up. Lakers Nation, salute to you. Welcome back to Lakers Over Everything. Purple and gold till we die. Purple and gold we ride. I bleed purple. My heart beats gold. It is and always will be Lakers Over Everything. I'm your host, LOE, and welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here. It is time, baby. It's time for another season. The 2025-2026 season is upon us. Free agency is done. Summer League is done. Training camp, preseason, it's all done, baby. It is time to get back to it. Time to get back to it. The regular season is here. Kicks off tomorrow. Of course, our Los Angeles Lakers. We open up against that rival up north, from the Bay, the Golden State Warriors, man. We're going to talk all about that, but we got so much to talk about. We're here for a season preview, if you will. Are we contenders? Are we pretenders? Are we something else? What's up with this 2025-2026 version of the Los Angeles Lakers? Although I do not believe, I think I'm with many of you guys out there, I do not believe that the roster that we see tomorrow night is the same roster that we'll be playing with deep into the 2026 season, if you will, deep into March, April, May, all that, all the way up until February, starting as early as February. I believe that there will be some changes, something done to this roster. We know that's how the Lakers get down. That's what they do. They're always open for business all year long, specifically at their trade deadline. We saw what happened last trade deadline. An earth-shattering move in the acquisition of Luka Doncic. Speaking of Luka Doncic, we were able to watch him play all summer long, man. How did you guys feel about that? Did you like what you saw? Skinny Luka, we got to see him play in Euro basketball. He led his team all the way to the quarterfinals. He had some upsets there, and he looked really, really good, man. And this is Luka's first full off season as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's good to see him go through that. And I believe that Luka is going to be, he's gonna marvel us this year. I think that all the excitement that we had when we acquired Luka Doncic, I think we're gonna get all of that this year. So I'm super pumped, super excited about that, man. MVP Luka might be loading, y'all. I believe so. The way he looked in the preseason. Of course, he only played a couple of games in the preseason, but he looked really, really good. He was unstoppable, kind of doing whatever he wanted to do. Of course, the concern is defensively. It's not just Luka. I have major concerns for this team, the entire team defensively, right? The team, the coaching staff. I'm just very, very concerned about what we can do and how we look defensively, but we'll dive into that. But yeah, man, here we are, man. So tomorrow night we open up against the Golden State Warriors. Of course, we are without LeBron James. I don't think he's expected to be back until mid-November at best. That's what I would say. He's dealing with that nerve issue, sporadic issue, whatever. So we got to do things without LeBron. So for the first time during his tenure here, by the way, this is the longest tenure, on one team, right? The longest that LeBron James has been with one team. So, man, shout out to King James there. There's a lot to talk about with him, but for the first time during his Lakers tenure, he will not be a part of the opening day lineup for our Lakers, man. So that sucks. He's definitely someone we need. We saw how important he was last year, and I think he's going to be equally as important this year. And that's I just said I think Luka will put up an MVP caliber season, but even with that, I still think we need LeBron to come in and be LeBron. Of course, LeBron, what year 21, right? He'll be 40, whatever, come December. So that's a lot to ask for a man with so much mileage. But it is what it is, man, at this point. It is what it is. He's back with us. He opted in. So this is the final year of his deal. Also, for the first time, we spoke about the first time he's not going to be the opening day roster. How about this is the first time that his future isn't secured with the Los Angeles Lakers? He doesn't have a contract next season, right? He, along with many, many others, which we'll also dive into, but starting with him, that's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy that LeBron is not signed long-term. And I personally think it's the right decision. At some point, you got to make a decision. You got to move forward. LeBron, love LeBron. This is an entirely different conversation. We're not going to dive too deep into that right here. But love LeBron. But, hey, all good things must come to an end at some point. And you got Luka here, I think, to fully build around Luka. I just think you may have to move forward from LeBron. And it was just a lot of drama this offseason. A lot of drama. We should have been super pumped that we got Luka. Luka signed his extension day one. That's what we should have been talking about. But instead, what were we talking about? Oh, is LeBron going to leave the Lakers? Is he going to request a trade? Blah, 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 blah. Same old, right? I don't want to get into that again right now. Let's just get healthy. Get back, LeBron, because we need you. You're under contract. So, we need you to come, and we need you to ball out, paired with Luka, paired with AR. Luka, again, we just spoke about, he did sign that extension. So shout out to Luka there. Super pumped, super excited about that. He did it day one. You had the haters say when we first got him, watch him leave us and burn us and all that. That was BS from the beginning. And we put that to bed real fast. So now we're all dialed in, man. We are all dialed in. You got AR, right? A big prove-it season for AR. We spoke about LeBron. AR's in the same situation. He doesn't have a contract for next season. He's playing for a new contract. Now, he could have signed one this summer, but we all pretty much knew he wouldn't, just because next summer he can be an unrestricted free agent and command a lot more money. He is one of the most friendly contracts in all of the NBA, and it's time for that man to get paid. He came in undrafted. He's gotten better year in and year out. Say what you want about him. He's gotten better year in and year out. He's had to play on the stage that is the Los Angeles Lakers. He had to play alongside LeBron with AD. Then AD's out. Now you bring in Luka. He's had to do a lot of adjusting, and that definitely stunts your growth a bit. Now, some may say, and I agree to an extent, that it also makes you better playing with those guys. Yeah, of course. Just in the locker room and behind the scenes, off the court, there's just so much wisdom that you're going to absorb, being able to play with the LeBron, being able to play with Anthony Davis, now being able to play with Luka Doncic and all the other pieces that were there in between. So, yeah, he's had that benefit, but it's all translated to the court, onto the court. He's gotten better year in and year out. Now, again, I don't care if you don't think that he can be a third star, or he's risen to the expectations, if you will. I don't care about any of that. Fact is, he's gotten better year in and year out as an undrafted player. His points per game average has went up. He's filled in roles when LeBron was out. He filled in when Luka was out. He filled in when AD was out. He filled in. So shout out to AR, man. And again, say what you want. It's time for that man to get paid. So I fully understand why he didn't sign that extension. that rookie extension or that extension. And yeah, he's going to get paid, and it's going to be, somewhere in between $30 to $40 million. So, and I believe it's going to be with the Los Angeles Lakers, right? The only way I see him not being here next summer, signing that extension with the Lakers, he's already said that he wants to be here. Of course, the Lakers are interested in him. Our ownership group, they like him. So the only way I see that not working, or I see him not being here, is if him and Luka just don't play well together. They don't look good together, and I don't think that's going to be the case. Now, again, there's a lot of questions, but I think you answer those questions by surrounding them with the right pieces, right? Surrounding them with wings, surrounding them with defense, surrounding them with shooters, and that's something that the Lakers just weren't able to do this summer. But moving forward, again, if LeBron's off the roster and you got that money freed up, and you're going to have a lot of cap space next summer, maybe that's the summer where we can see the Lakers go out and get the correct pieces, or we might see it this year. Something might open up at the trade deadline, and we'll see what it is. But heading into tomorrow and the start of the season, the start of the 2025-2026 season, I don't know. I don't know if he got all the correct pieces around them. Now, we did go out and get us a center, right? We know that was the Lakers' biggest issue last year, and why we weren't able to sustain, or carry over into the playoffs what we did in February and March and April last year, because we just didn't have a legit starting center. Well, we went out and got us one in DeAndre Ayton. I'm very, very excited about DeAndre Ayton. I like this preseason. Now, I still think that there's some timing issues there with catching the lobs from AR, catching the lobs from Luka, and just being in certain spots, certain positions, rolling off the picks and all that stuff. Again, they didn't practice a lot together. Luka, for whatever reason, he didn't practice a lot during camp, or at least not publicly. It was publicly known. LeBron, he never really got to work out with those guys together. So I think that's going to be time. We're going to have to give that some time to see the full manifestation of what we want Ayton to be offensively. But defensively, I like what I saw this preseason from DeAndre Ayton, right? He was blocking shots, he was challenging at the rim, and his defensive rebounding. That's something that immediately he was able to help out during this preseason. He's going to have to do the same thing as we move into the season. It's important that DeAndre Ayton is a good defensive rebounder, and he showed that he can be that for the Lakers during the preseason. I don't expect that to change at all. I expect him to have double-digit boards night in and night out, 11, 12, 13, sometimes more than that. And that's what we're going to need if the Lakers want to be successful, just because defensively, we cannot give up second chances, right? On that side of the ball, we cannot allow guys to get 2, 3, 4 attempts offensively. And the way you limit that, or the way you cut that back, is by grabbing defensive boards. We're just not talented enough defensively where we can allow 3 and 4 attempts by offenses, right? Because they're going to score on us eventually. Preseason, we look terrible defensively, specifically on the perimeter. Guys just blowing right by us, right? So that's where DeAndre Ayton steps in, grab the boards, but also, as those guys do blow right by us, protect the paint, right? We need you to be that last line defender, and he showed that he can be that. So we really need to hammer in on that and improve on that and allow him to be that. I think that's the most important thing that we need from DeAndre Ayton. Offensively, it's going to be what it's going to be. I think he'll be fine, and we'll all be happy there. Him and Luka, LeBron, AR, they'll figure that all out. He'll get easy buckets. He'll score double-digit points every night, 14, 15 points. I think that's going to come easily, right? But my focus is on the defensive end, because we just don't have the other pieces defensively. We don't have those wing defenders. We don't have, those athletic guys, if you will. So DeAndre Ayton is going to be major for us defensively, right? And let's talk about the defense. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Like, if I had to put a grade on the Lakers defense during the preseason, it's probably like a D-, man. It was that bad. It was that bad. And I just don't see any answers. The only thing I can see is get more athletic, be faster, right? But I just don't think we have the players to do that. So yeah, I don't know how we address that. JJ said communicate, a lot of communicating and all that, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to the players, right? I don't think it's a scheme. I don't think it's any of that. I just don't think that we have the right pieces. I think we need a piece or two more to add to the defense, right? You got Marcus Smart. You brought him in. Now, again, we only saw Marcus Smart play one game. So we'll see how that looks over time. We will see. And shout out to you guys, man, for being here. My boy, Empire Jeff, shout out to you, bro. Are you ready, man? I know he's ready for something else. He's not ready for the Lakers yet. He's ready for something else beginning on Friday. But we're talking about those Dodgers going for that two-piece back-to-back, baby. That's what his attention is focused on. But shout out to Jeff, and he'll crank up the basketball stuff real soon in a few weeks, couple of months. So looking forward to that. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, man. Salute to you, man. It's been a minute. How you doing, bro? Salute to you and everybody else. If you're watching the replay, whatever the case may be, salute to all of you. And man, get ready for some Lakers basketball. It is here, baby. It is here. It is here. It crept up on us real fast. Man, it seemed like we were just getting eliminated in 5 from Minnesota, and here we are. Got a new season going. But yeah, defensively, again, I just don't think we have the pieces. We need the pieces too. We were talking about Marcus Smart. Again, I'm going to give that some time to see how that looks because we didn't really get to see him. He kind of got inserted into training camp late, and then he only played the one preseason game. So again, we'll see how that looks, but I'm excited about it there. I just don't know. I don't know, man. He's older. He's had a lot of injuries. So I don't know if we can come in and rely on him to play 35 minutes. That's why I'm not tripping off him not being in the starting lineup. I would like to see him in the starting lineup, but again, I just need to see if his body, how much his body can sustain, right? I don't want to throw him out there in the starting lineup and he's playing 30, 35 minutes. And come February, he's out for the rest of the season because his body just shut down on him, right? So let's see how that looks. Me personally, I would love to have him in the starting lineup, but we'll see how that plays out. We'll talk about the starting lineup in a second. We're talking about defense, right? Jake LaRavia, that was our other addition that we acquired. Defensively, he just did not look good, but at the same time, I'm going to say let's give it time. I went back and watched his highlights, when we acquired him, his defensive highlights in Sacramento, because that was the side of the ball where he said he wanted to come in and prove how good he was. And that was the side of the ball where he wanted to come in and have a big impact. Offensively, they'll work that out. I think he got lost a bit offensively because you threw Luka in there in the final game and he just looked out of place a bit. So I think there's a lot to figure out with Jake. Again, same thing like DeAndre Ayton, some of these other guys, they didn't really get to practice with LeBron. They didn't really get to practice with Luka. So we need time with these new additions, right? Rui is good. He'll fit right in. He's already played. AR is good. He'll fit right in. He's already played with those guys. Jackson Hayes, he knows his role. He'll fit in, right? But these newer guys, DeAndre Ayton and Jake LaRavia, to be specific, I just think we got to give those guys time. We have to figure out what Jake LaRavia's role is going to be. But defensively, I was not really impressed. I was underimpressed, actually. I thought I was going to see a little bit more from him. But again, I'm going to give it some time, right? It's just athletically, he just didn't look really athletic to me, right? And that's what the Lakers need. They need some athleticism, specifically on that wing spot, which is where he's going to be playing. He's supposed to be a perimeter defender for us, a wing defender. So you need athleticism there, and I just don't know. So we could say give it time all you want, but over time, he's not going to become more athletic. That's for sure. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. Vando, now all the hype about Vando in camp from JJ. Oh, yeah, pre-injury Vando is back. The Vandalorian is back. Vando's going to have a big role. Blah, 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 blah. That's why I don't buy into the words coming out of camp. I don't buy into some of the first couple of preseason games. I want to see how it looks at the end when you're playing all your guys, when you're having that dress rehearsal, if you will, which the Lakers had. And they had that dress rehearsal, and Vando only played 14 minutes. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from Vando defensively. He did look You know, a lot like the old Vando, the pre-injury Vando, that Vandalorian that we just spoke of. But offensively, there's been no improvement, and that's the issue. We all know what Vando is defensively. We know what he could be defensively. We know what his ceiling is defensively. But we need offense. We need him to improve offensively. We needed him to do a little bit more offensively, and he just didn't show that. He's still not. He still hasn't developed the corner three. He still hasn't cleaned things up around the rim. And that's what we need from Vando, right? That's what we need from Vando. And again, he only played 14 minutes. So that just shows everything that JJ was talking about, all the hyping up of Vando that he was doing at the start of camp, that died real fast. That died in a matter of weeks because doing your dress rehearsal, when you had Luka, when you had your starting lineup out there doing that dress rehearsal, Vando only played 14 minutes. So he wasn't even a 6th or 7th man. He was like the 8th or 9th man. This team only has 9 playable players, right? Which we'll get into. But Vando was towards the end of that. 14 minutes what he played. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know how much JJ trusts him. JJ wants shooters out there. That's what he wants out there. He wants shooters. You look at the starting lineup. It's the reason why Gabe is out there as opposed to Vando or some of these other guys is because he trusts Gabe to be a shooter. He trusts Gabe, and you saw JJ running that 5-out system immediately with that starting lineup. They ran it out there, and they ran that set a lot. You know, that 5-out set a lot. He wants shooters out there, so I just don't know how much JJ trusts Vando, and if he doesn't trust him, then why in the hell am I going to trust him, and why should you trust him? So we'll see. We'll see if he can get better. I know he did get banged up in the second to last preseason game. So maybe that has something to do with him. But I don't know. He still ended up playing 14 minutes. So if he played 14, then he must have been okay health-wise. I didn't see. And that was the whole thing. He spoke about it also. This was the first off season that he came in healthy, where he could really work on his game. You remember last year he had surgery on both of his feet, so he couldn't do anything specifically offensively. But this summer, that was the whole thing. He was finally healthy and was going to finally be able to work out and progress his game on that side of the ball. Well, I really didn't see that. So I just don't know. And when you look at the rest of the league, the contenders, when you look at OKC, when you look at Houston, when you look at Denver, when you look at all these teams in the West, their perimeter players can give you something offensively. Their perimeter players can knock down a three. Their perimeter players can hit that back cut and get a layup or a dunk at the rim, right? And do some things, or have the ball in their hands a bit and create something, create some mismatches, right? Well, Vando just can't do any of that. He just can't offensively. It is what it is. And because of that, I just don't think JJ trusts him, and I just don't know, what he's going to give us. And that's the thing. We need him to give us something. We need a Vando to improve offensively. We need a Vando to be healthy. We need a Vando to be that lockdown perimeter defender, because he was perfect to slot into the starting lineup. And that's with or without LeBron, right? He would have been the perfect guy. The image or the dream that we have of Vando would have been perfect, right? But we just didn't see that during the preseason. So again, it's preseason, but when it comes to preseason, I don't put too much stock into it, but certain players you do, right? Especially a player you haven't seen play in a couple of years. You got to put something into it, and yeah, it just wasn't there. Let's talk about the starting lineup really fast. So that was the big shocker in that final preseason game. A lot of us thought that Marcus Smart would be in the starting line or Vando, but it was neither of those guys. It was Gabe Vincent. He was in the starting line. Now, Gabe has had a solid preseason, so it's well-deserved. I'm sure he's been balling out in camp as well. So him being in the starting lineup is well-deserved. But again, it goes back to that trust. I just think JJ trusts him more so. JJ did say that the starting lineup that he presented or he put out on the floor against Sacramento on that final preseason, that would be the starting lineup moving forward into the season. But then he kind of backtracked a bit after the game and said he's not committed to a long-term starting lineup. Now we know LeBron is out. So that created an issue there. But I think you just slotted Rui right in. The question was Rui going to start? And if not, who would be the guy? Who would be that fifth starter? Well, the five starters was Luka, AR, Gabe, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton. We kind of knew Luka, AR, and Ayton would start, and again LeBron when he's back. And then it came down to who's going to be that fifth guy. Well, Rui, it looks like he was going to be the fifth guy, regardless of LeBron being in the line or not. But then, again, surprisingly, Gabe Vincent was in there. And I think Gabe held his own. I want to see how Gabe looks. If Gabe is knocking down his shot, then yeah, I think he has to stay in that starting lineup. But he knocked down his shot during the preseason. So I want to see how that looks moving forward. I'm cool with him. He's really, out of those group of guys, he's really your only movement shooter, right? He can come off the pin downs, the stack options, all that. He can make some high level shots. So again, it's going to come down to Gabe knocking down shots. If Gabe is knocking down shots, which again he was able to do during the preseason, then I think he'll remain in that starting lineup, at least for the foreseeable future. Again, JJ said he didn't commit to a starting lineup, so that kind of makes me scratch my head a bit, because here we are going into the season and you're not committed to a starting lineup, right? A long-term starting lineup. And again, we know it's going to change with LeBron, but still, he just doesn't know who that fifth guy is going to be. So that's tough right there, because the Lakers have to get off to a good start. The West is so deep, which we'll talk about that in a second. But that starting five, now Marcus Smart, he played very well in that preseason game, the only preseason game he played in. So we'll see. Maybe over time he becomes that guy, right? But for now, I'm going to rock with it, especially tomorrow night against Golden. And that's the thing. So tomorrow night you play Golden State. So Gabe, he fits perfectly there, right? I think he'll be matched up with Steph. He's going to be on Steph. He's the only guy in that lineup who can guard Steph. So I'm cool with that. But then you look at the second game, game two, you play Minnesota. Like, with that starting lineup, who's guarding Ant? Like, who in that starting lineup is guarding Ant? Gabe cannot guard Ant. Austin cannot guard Ant. Rui can't guard Ant. So who's guarding Ant in that game too? So this starting lineup might change on a night-by-night basis. And that's troubling for me. I don't like that at all. You don't have a solid starting five that you could throw out there. So again, it just goes to say, this roster needs some help. We're not done. We're a piece or two away. So we'll see how that plays out. But for now, that's your starting lineup. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Again, if Gabe can knock down those shots, I like him. Now, this is a three-guard starting lineup, right? We remember a couple of years ago, that was a big, big problem that Lakers Nation had with Darvin Ham throwing out there those playing those three-guard lineups, right? And here we are. Fast forward to 2025, 2026. Well, guess what? It's the same thing. We're starting a three-guard lineup. Now, defensively, I guess it's not a three-guard lineup, because Luka really is a forward, if you will, defensively. He's not going to be guarding, he's not going to be defensively. He's not going to be assigned to guards. He's going to be assigned more to the forwards and some fives, right? But still, offensively, it's still a three-guard lineup. Now, it does give you a lot more creation out there on the court. It does give you more floor spacing, and I think those are things. So I don't think it's just happenstance that these three, that is the three-guard lineup. I think this is what JJ wants. He wants shooters out there. He wants guys who can shoot and stretch the floor. He wants guys that can create as well, but guys who can be those floor spacer, be a floor spacer, where he can run that 5-out system, and Gabe allows him to do that. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Again, we just have to knock down shots. That's going to be key for Gabe Vincent. And maybe, again, Marcus Smart takes that last spot. Again, I wanted it to be Vando, but I just don't see that happening. Just from what I saw from Vando offensively, I just don't think we can trust Vando out there, because it's like you're playing with two centers, because that's the type of production that you get from Vando. You just get absolutely nothing, and it just clogs up the offense. So I just don't know, man. I just don't know. Now, we spoke about the Lakers defense. I'm very troubled there. That's not going to help me sleep at night, what they're putting out there defensively. I'm very worried about that. But offensively, I like what I saw during the preseason. And offensively, I think that that the Lakers are going to be really, really good. I think that we can be a top 10 offense, which we're going to have to be, because again, right now, I don't even see us being an average defense. I just don't see it. The only thing that I see us getting better at defensively from last year is rebounding, defensive rebounds. That's the only thing that I see, and that's with the addition of DeAndre Ayton. But offensively, I think our offense is going to eat, man. I'm very, very excited about that. AR offensively, he looked really, really good. Although during the preseason, he didn't shoot the three ball well. I think he shot like low 20%, 23% or something like that. But again, it's preseason, so I'm going to kind of act like I didn't see that or mention that stat. But he looked good. He averaged 18 points. That first game, Luka's first game, which was the third to last game, I think, they both dropped 25 points. They looked really, really good. They both were efficient. And for the most part, during the preseason, Austin shot the ball well. Again, we talked about his 3-point percentage, but a lot of that was skewed because he went 0 of 7 from 3 in the final preseason game. So that kind of skewed those figures, messed him up a bit. But yeah, I think he'll knock that off. He'll be okay. His playmaking looked really, really well. Him and Luka together, being our playmakers, looked really, really good. We talked about Gabe. He provided some playmaking. Rui, offensively, he looked really, really, really good. He was using that big body and taking advantage of his mismatches, right? He was dunking on folk. When he had guys a mismatch in the paint, he went up for the dunk. I like to see that. Use that big body, man. Use that big body. So that was very welcoming to see from Rui. He was knocking down the three, and it just looked really, really good, man. It looked really good. There were a lot of possessions where the defense tried to blitz Luka, and Luka got it to the open man, whether it be AR or whoever it may be, and they kind of dominated. They took advantage of those mismatches and scored. Particularly, they had Luka and AR up top. They blitzed Luka. He got it to Aiden, who was at the free throw line, and now you got 3-on-2 downhill. You got Aiden coming downhill, and you got two shooters in the wings with Rui and Gabe, and he was making the right pass. I think we're going to see a lot of that because, again, Luka just looks so good. Guys are going to really, really blitz Luka, especially since you don't have LeBron out there anymore. They're going to think, defense are going to think that they can try to blitz Luka even more now. And it's important. Luka's going to make that pass. It's important that when he makes that pass, which is a difficult pass to make when you got two guys coming at you, right, blitzing you, they're coming at you. That's a tough pass to make, but Luka always makes that pass. And when he makes it, we have to take advantage of that. We have to take advantage of that 3-on-2 downhill or 4-on-3 downhill, whatever it may be that we have. So, and I saw a lot of that in the preseason when Luka and AR played. So I like that there. What else we got? What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the offense. Again, yeah, I think they're going to be I think they have the potential to be a top 10 offense. Now, that's kind of what we wanted to see, or we thought we would see last year. We thought their offense would carry them deep into the playoffs. It just never really came around fully, if you will. But I think we'll see that this year. You had the offseason off, and you got a full season now. So I think we're going to see that. And we're going to have to see it if the Lakers want to make any sort of noise, right, or be in any sort of contention. They're going to have a solid offense because, again, the defense is just not. It's just not there. I think we're going to struggle to be an average defensive team. So that being said, you're going to have a top offense, if you will. And we saw it in Spurs last year, specifically doing that run leading up into the playoffs. We saw where the Lakers were one of the top offenses. So again, I think we'll build upon that. I think JJ will be more comfortable. JJ knows who he can trust. You got Luka more comfortable, right, being here. AR, he has a lot to prove. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. Very excited and looking forward to the offense, right? What else we got? Again, a lot of 5 and out. And I think that was by design because you heard LeBron mention it during media day, during his presser. He said that's the one thing he worked on a lot this offseason, this summer is off-ball shooting, catch and shoot threes. So I think they're going to run a lot of that 5-out stuff, man. And the Lakers are going to shoot a lot of threes. We know that's what JJ wants to do. We know that's what Luka wants to do. We saw how many more threes the Lakers shot when they acquired Luka, and I think we're going to see even more this year. So we have to knock down that 3 ball. We absolutely have to, because if we don't, I think we're going to be in trouble, man. Our defense in total is tough, right? We need so much help, but transition defense specifically, right? So if you're missing threes, clanking threes, then yeah, they're going to, our opponent, they're going to score easy buckets on the flip side. So we got to put that ball through the net, right? We have to put that ball through the net. Again, I made mention of this team. We're just not deep. We're just not as deep as I would like for us to be. Of course, you got LeBron out, the rookie and the Duke Thoreau. He's still out. We haven't seen him. Maxi Kleber, we didn't see much of him. He played a bit in the preseason, but he looked, he looked a little shaky, as expected. When he missed all that time that he missed. He looked a little rusty, so hopefully we get something from there. But outside of our starting 5 of Luka, AR, Gabe, Rui, Aiden, how many more guys do you have that you can play? You got Vando, who you're going to have to play. You got Marcus Smart. You got Jake LaRavia. And that's really it. That's really it, man. So, some of these other, you can't really play these guys. Bronny, he's gotten better, but he's still not a rotation guy, in my opinion, in the NBA at least. Max Kleber, we spoke about him. We don't know what we're going to get from him. Christian Coloco, I guess. Oh, and Jackson, and you got Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes did look good during the preseason. He had moments in there where he looked bad, where he was fouling a lot, but he kind of cleaned that up. And when he did, he looked like a serviceable backup center. So he looked good. So you got Jackson. So those are the 9 guys you have, right? So, but again, we're razor thin at that big spot. That's something that we need to add some more depth. We need another center. I think we all kind of knew that, which is something we can address down the road, if you will, at some point during the season. But if he goes down, and he got banged up in the last one, so I don't even know his availability for tomorrow. But if he goes down, then you're looking at your backup centers, Maxi Kleber and Christian Coloco. So good luck with that, right? So hopefully Jax is good to go. But that's something we need more depth there. And then of course on the wing we need more depth. And just overall, we need more depth on your starting 3 guards now. So your top 3 playmakers, not named LeBron James, we're not speaking about him, but your top 3 playmakers that you have available, they're all in your starting lineup. So they're going to have to stagger minutes because you don't have anyone to come off the bench to be that playmaker off the bench. So you don't have that. So they're going to have to stagger guys with Gabe and AR, Luka, right? AR and Luka specifically, they're really going to have to stagger their minutes. You're going to need one of those guys on the court at all times. And then who's your scorer? Where's your scoring coming from off the bench, right? Rui might have to be staggered also. He might have to start and play off the bench. Where's your scoring coming off the bench, right? So there's a lot needed here. There's a lot needed. Jake LaRavia, he's going to be your scorer off the bench? I don't know. Again, you stagger Luka and AR. So AR, maybe he plays a lot more with the bench unit, and he's your playmaker and your scorer there. So yeah, depth wise, there's just not, when you look around the NBA, you look around the rest of the Western Conference rather. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how we stack up against those guys, right? You look at defensively, going back to the defense, you look at that. Did we do enough to address what needed to be addressed? Why we went home in 5 games last year? Did we do enough to address that? I mean, you added DeAndre Ayton, and again, I think he's going to help us tremendously rebounding the basketball. So we're going to get defensive rebounds, which was a major issue last year against Minnesota. Rudy Gobert killed us on the glass on both ends of the offensively and defensively, but specifically on offense. So you kind of clean that up a bit with DeAndre Ayton, but is that enough? Is that enough? We still didn't really get athletic. You got Marcus Smart in there again. I don't know I'm excited about Marcus Smart, but I just don't know how much we're going to get from him. We'll see. I'm very excited about that addition, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure to put on him. And then LeBron, a lot of pressure to put on LeBron also, because we're going to need LeBron to come in and be tremendous for us defensively as well. And again, LeBron is a year older, man, another year in. So now you're seeing for the first time, he's not going to be on the opening day starting lineup. So Father Time, he's undefeated. So we'll see. We'll see how much availability LeBron will have for us. And again, when he's out there, we wanted to take pressure off LeBron, specifically during the regular season. But it looks like we're going to have to put more pressure on him because we're still going to be really LeBron dependent, right? On the defensive side of the ball. He played great last year defensively, and it looks like we're going to ask him to do that again. Of course, if Jake LaRavia, if he can step up, if Vando can give us a solid 15 minutes, defensively, then that helps that a bit. But for reasons that we already discussed earlier, Jake LaRavia's athleticism didn't impress me, and then Vando's just his lack of offensive progression. I just don't know. I just really don't know what we can get there, right? I just think we're going to struggle against those smaller, quicker athletic teams, faster athletic teams. They're going to crush us, man. And we're going to see one tomorrow night with Golden State. And you're going to see that a lot in the West, and not just smaller, even the bigger guys are athletic in the West. And I think we're going to struggle there. I really, really do. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. What else I got before we get out of here? About to get out of here and watch some. I got this Tampa Detroit game on now, but it's about to be first pitch to see who will advance. We got game 7 tonight, man, in MLB playoffs. Jeff, I see your comment there. Yeah, I know he's locked in and loaded there. We got Seattle and Toronto, game 7. The winner advances to the World Series to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. So very, very excited about that. I'm finna get off and watch that game there. What else? But it's important that the Lakers get off. And again, I'm saying everything I'm saying because it's important that the Lakers get off to a good start. The West is really tight. The West is really deep. It was last year, and it's gotten even tighter and even deeper this year. And did the Lakers make enough moves where they can keep up? The one thing I do love about what the Lakers did is they kept all their flexibility. So if this doesn't work, they're flexible. They didn't give up any first round. They didn't go out and make no desperate trade and give up all your assets, give up all your draft capital, give up your whatever draft assets that we do have. They didn't go out and give all that up. All the additions that they made, they didn't give anything up to get those, including Aiden, right? You didn't have to give up anything. Jake LaRavia, you didn't have to give up anything. Marcus Smart, you didn't have to give. So our 3 big additions that we made, we didn't give anything up. So that puts Lakers in a really, really good spot. And we know Rob likes to see how the team looks in those first 20 games. Well, it's not just that. I think if you want to be competitive come March, April, May, right? March and April going into the playoffs, if you want a good seed and not be a play-in team, it's important that you're going to get off to a good start during those first 20 games. So, yeah, and speaking of the first 20 games, let's run through it really fast. So tomorrow, again, we open up with Golden State, and then you got Minnesota at home, so 2 games at home. Then you go into Sacramento. Then you got Portland. Then you go into Minnesota, who put us out last year in 5. So that'll be a good measuring stick there. Then you go into Memphis for your first NBA Cup game. Then you come home to Miami, get to play Miami. And then you go to Portland. And then you got the Spurs. And then you got Atlanta, at Atlanta. So that's the Lakers' first 10 games there. Golden State, Minnesota, Sacramento, Portland, Minnesota again, Memphis, Miami, Portland, San Antonio, and Atlanta. So that's it should be a very favorable schedule for the Lakers. Right there, I think they need to stack up some wins, man. They need to go a good 8-2 right there. They really do that towards the end of the trip, that 10-game trip at Atlanta. That's going to be a tough one. Atlanta's good. They just re-up. They gave Dyson Daniels. They paid Dyson. That's a good ball club there in Atlanta. But you're gonna have to figure out a way to go 2-10 there, right? And then your next 10 after that, it's a road trip. So you're at Atlanta for the 10th game, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, they're all on the road. So you're at Charlotte, you're at OKC, you're at New Orleans, and then you're at Milwaukee. So tough road trip there. And then to round out the 20, you come back home against Utah, and then you're at Utah. Weird scheduling there. You play them at home, then you go there, and then you come back home for 4 more for the final 4 of that first 20. You come home. That's the Clippers NBA Cup game, the Dallas Mavs NBA Cup game, New Orleans and Phoenix. So it's not a difficult schedule. It's really not a difficult schedule, which is expected. The Lakers is really difficult schedule. They're going to be on all the primetime national TV games come, February, March, April, and so on, all during that time slot, right, later in the year. So they got to take advantage of this, right? The only thing is you're not going to have LeBron James until probably mid-November. So you're going to have to figure out a way to still get some wins. The teams that are bad teams, you can't play around with those teams. You have to beat those teams, right? And then you're going to have to sneak in some good wins also. So again, the first 20, they need to come out and go 16-4. I don't think they can drop more than 16 or drop more than 4, maybe 5. So 16-4, 15-5. That's what they're going to have to do, man. That's what they're going to have to do. That's how competitive this Western Conference is. Because again, if you go 10-10 or 9-11 or even 11-9 or 12-8, I don't think that's enough. I think that's going to come back to haunt you and bite you in the ass come April and March and April. I don't want to be a playing team. We weren't a playing team last year. Now, do I see this team being a top 3 seed again like they were last year? I don't know. I really don't know. Right now, this roster, I would say no. But again, I don't believe this is going to be the roster that we'll have, at the end of February and March and April. So I think they'll make a change there. They'll do something there. So that's why it's hard to say. But depending on what that move is, that could help them shoot up in the standings. But nevertheless, we got to rival what we got right now. So we're going to have to win games. So in that first 20, again, I'm going to need to see at worst case scenario, I'm going to need to see a 15-5 because again, if you drop games here, coming out the gate, then it's going to be tough, man. Those games will come back and haunt you, and you'll find yourself, down at that 7, 8, 9, 10 seed playing for play. And so I think that's how good the West is. Not only did the good teams get better in the West, but even some of those bad teams like San Antonio Spurs, who didn't make the playoffs last year, they're going to be a lot better because they're getting Wemby back, they're getting Fox back, and all the young guys that they have there. So a team like Denver, I think Denver is going to be a lot better. No, Denver made the playoffs last year, but I think they're going to be better. They're bringing Jokic back and their same guys back. They re-upped on Christian Braun. They extended him, so he's going to come out. I think he's going to take another step. They're going to be good. So the Lakers are going to have to win games, man. They're going to have to win games right now. As currently constructed, if I had to put a seeding on the Lakers, as currently constructed, I would say maybe a 6 seed. I think that's where the Lakers are, a 6 seed, which has us out of the play-in. But again, you drop a game or two, you find yourself, you go from 6 to 9. That's how tight this thing's going to be. But right now, I think they're a 6 seed. I think with the right trade, I think they can shoot up to 4, maybe back to 3. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. We did have a lot of a few moves today, a couple of moves today, and a couple of guys getting new contracts. We spoke about 2 of them. Christian Braun, who we just spoke about, he signed a 5-year, $125 million extension, and then with Denver, and then Dyson Daniels with Atlanta, he signed a 4-year, $100 million extension, which was well deserved by both of those guys. Dyson Daniels, he was a hell of a player defensively last year, so shout out to him and shout out to them for getting that deal done. But then Shaedon Sharpe in Portland and Tamani Kamara, both of those guys signed extensions also in Portland. So Shaden Sharp signed a 4-year, $90 million deal, and Kamara signed a 4-year, $82 million deal. So that's two young pieces in Portland. That's another team. Portland was one of the worst teams last year, but I like their team. I really do. Now, them being one of the worst teams, a lot of that was by design, tanking and whatnot. But you re-up on Shaden Sharp, Kamara, two young pieces. You got Donovan Clean in there. You got a lot of guys there. So that could be another team that could be pushing to fight for a play-in spot, right? So another young team on the rise coming up. Now, there were a lot of, we mentioned those, but there were a lot of guys who did not sign extensions, right? In Detroit, two big names in Detroit that they're not going to make offers to. They're going to wait until the summer, or at least that's what they're saying now. They're going to wait until the summer and see how that goes out. Now, all these guys are restricted, so we'll see. But these are names to keep an eye out on because you just never know. Maybe they could be open for business. Again, all these guys are restricted guys, so I don't know if they would become available, but still, nevertheless, keep an eye on them. We're talking about Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, both of those guys in Detroit. They're not, again, they kind of said they're not going to do deals. They're going to wait. Benedict Mathurin in Indiana, who just went to the finals last year. They're not going to get a deal done with him. They're going to wait. Jeremy Sochan, right, in the Spurs, who's an up and rising team. I think they'll be a playoff team. Jeremy Sochan, they're not going to do a deal with him. Walker Kessler in Utah, we've heard his name mentioned so many times. And guess what, Lakers Nation? We're going to continue to hear it this year. Well, they're not going to get a deal done with him either. So maybe that's enough to finally move him, right? So we'll see. Peyton Watson, another guy. They're not going to do a deal with him. Terry Eason, he's on my little list that I wrote down, but I think they'll get a deal done with him. KD did sign, he did extend, but he left. He took a $30 million pay cut. So shout out to KD there, man. He said he wanted to win, and he said he wanted to surround himself, with the winning squad. Well, he's putting money to mouth here, right? That's a significant pay cut. It's $15 million a year that he left on the table, and that's money that can go directly into signing a guy like Terry Eason, a guy that they need to sign who's a restricted free agent. So now they may get a deal done with him. But KD did sign that 2-year extension, so it's pretty much looking like he's going to retire in Houston, which is pretty cool because he began his career in Texas, right? He went to the University of Texas, and now he's in Houston, so now he can end his career in Texas. So that could work out for him. He's a guy you never really know where his home is. Well, if he could win another title for Houston, right? Win their first title, win himself another title as the alpha, then that could be major there, man. And they definitely had the squad to do it. Getting him was huge. I'm high on them. I know some people are trying to say they're not high on them, but I'm very high on them, especially with him giving back $30 million, where you can take that money and give to a Terry Eason or a Amon Thompson or some of those other guys, get some of those other guys locked in. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. But again, the West is going to be it's going to be a gunfight, man. The wild West, man. It's been wild for the last couple of years, and it's going to be even wilder this year. And have the Lakers done enough to be at the top of that wild West, right? Do we got enough guns for this gunfight, right? We'll see. We will see. But nevertheless, I'm very excited about it. It all starts off tomorrow, baby. Tomorrow is game 1 of 82. And of course, we got the Golden State Warriors. That's going to be a fun matchup. It always is. It sucks that we don't get to see that rivalry between LeBron and Steph. We know they always put on, but it is what it is. We can't cry about it. We got to take care of business at the crypt. I'll be out there, so it's gonna be fun. And Moses Moody, I think on the injury front, we may get a break there. I don't think he'll be available tomorrow from everything that I saw before I jumped on. So we may dodge a small bullet there, which is big actually, because Moses Moody plays the Lakers very well. Every time we play them, he plays very well. But your starting lineup, I think you'll get, of course, Steph. I think you get Pods out there. You'll get Jimmy Butler. You'll get Draymond Green. And then it's interesting to see, does Horford start or does Kuminga start? Or do they start Buddy Hield? I don't think so. I think Buddy Hield comes off the bench. So I think it's either Horford or Kuminga. So we'll see how that looks. And then for the Lakers matching up against those guys, how does that look? So Gabe, I think he'll be on Steph. He's the only one in that starting lineup who can guard Steph. Podziemski, I think you get AR there. So you got some white on white crime there. That'll be a good matchup. Two young players with a lot to prove. So we'll see how that looks. I think you put Rui on Jimmy. Yeah, I think you do that. And then I think you have to put Luka on Draymond. I think Draymond's the only one in the lineup that Luka, you really want Luka guarding because he's going to have to do so much offensively. So yeah, and then I think that leaves Aiden to guard, whoever whoever's starting at the 5, whether it's Horford or Kuminga. So yeah, we'll see. We'll have more details on that tomorrow. But looking at things, I think that's how they'll play it. But yeah, man, it all goes down tomorrow. We'll be here for a quick little pregame. We'll be out there tomorrow. So we'll try to get in the pregame before we head out, before we get to the arena. But it all starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is opening night 2025, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Salute to all of you guys, man. We'll be here all season long. I know we kind of abandoned the channel last year because we had other obligations, but we cut back on those so we can get back here and build things up here. So, yeah, man, make sure you guys come roll with your boy all season long. We are here, baby. We are here. Purple and gold till we die. Purple and gold we ride. I believe purple. My heart beats golden is and always will be. Lakers over everything, man. Salute to you for watching. Appreciate you. And everybody watching on the replay, salute to you as well. But tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. LOE is back right here, baby, on YouTube. So tap in, and we'll tap in with I'll tap in with you tomorrow and all season long. It's your boy, LOE. Thanks for joining the Lowdown Daily Pod. Peace.